line number 20, from line number 20 again. I'm not getting it.
All right. So whenever we have a collection, we want to traverse to all the values, one after another. So in order to traverse one after another, these many days we have used what is that, for loops. So either
Yes,
a for loop or we will use enhanced for.
yes, ma'am.
So in collection, again, it's a collection of objects. In order to traverse the elements, apart from regular for loop and enhanced for loop,
We will use it with
Java
list it.
provides under collection interface util package, we have iterator interface and list iterator. So this list iterator is specifically used for list objects.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's an interface. So you cannot create an object directly. So in order to create object for list interface, you have to use the reference of list iterator of. And this my list one is my object, collection object.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I have been discussing the point. It will not put the cursor on the 0th index item. The cursor will be in the previous.
Yes, ma'am.
So in order to bring the cursor to the first record, we have a method called as next. All the time we need to check the next item is there or not.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Right. One second, let me check for bidirectional working. So iterator object name is equal to my list iterator of, I need to locate and iterate the size. And I have at last, I have totally 3 elements. So instead of next, my cursor will go and stay with the 3rd index. I'll give a check, then I'll modify the index name. So go for previous and go for previous. 1 second, let me check. HP Lenovo Asus, Lenovo HP. Yeah. So other than for loop and enhanced for loop, so in order to traverse, we have list iterator. So if you don't specify any index, by default from -1 to 0, 1, 2, I have HP Lenovo Asus. If I want to go for backward traversal, reverse traversal, at the time of object creation of iterator, provide the last index plus 1. So I have 0, 1, 2. 2 is an index, or you can give the size in such the way. So 2 plus 1, 3rd index you have to specify. It will check whether it has previous item or not. And then I'm printing the previous was Asus. 2nd index, 1st index, and 0th index. So list iteration is bidirectional. You can travel in both forward and reverse. These are all fundamentals. Let's get into more detailed rule on collection. Listen. I have added HP, Lenovo, Acer. Can I add 1000? Can I add 1005? Tell me 12th line is possible. Can I add integer type?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It is possible.
Possible.
But
Yes, ma'am.
how?
Or same program, I'll get an output. So 1000 and 1005 have been added. Listen. Same program I have copy pasted in Notepad just to show you some warning. So when I compile my program, I'll show you why this warning, detailed message on this warning. My compilation is success and my execution is also success. I'm getting the output. The program is not having any syntax error. The compilation is success and I'm getting the expected output. But at the time of compilation, there is a warning note. Can you see what is a warning note? This program uses unchecked or unsafe operation. So always it is very, very important when you are handling a collection. Not only this topic, in any topic of Java, it should not allow mixed type of element. By the way, we have not followed any type safety functionality. So this program, they are simply coming to a conclusion with the term not a type safety code, unsafe code. So in order to make a type safety code, we have to introduce the concept of generics. So generics will move many errors from runtime to compile time. So always whenever we are defining a collection object, it's very important. You have to handle it with proper data types. According to my program, it is not properly typed. So that is the reason it is throwing an error. How to make a proper type safety code by introducing generics. How to introduce generics in Java, it is not a complex thing. So this is without generics. So if I want to introduce generics, so generics is a diamond type referenced operator. We have to use this open close angular bracket and you have to specify the data type. And whenever if you are specifying the data type, we will not use primitive type, we will use wrapper class. So the syntax is array list. What is the data type I'm reserving string. So till Java old version, Java 6 and 7, we will be using the data type in both left hand side and right hand side. Later version, they have specified don't use the data type on right hand side. Both are similar. Likewise, if I want to handle my list 2 with numbers, I have to handle with integer. So whenever if I am defining a collection object, always I will use a wrapper class data type definition. And this way of definition is called as generics. So I should indicate my compiler that my collection is a type safe to code. It is not unsafe operation. Same thing if you look into your IntelliJ under your problems. So there were lots of, it's not an error, it's a warning. So we are calling add method of raw type, which is not a wrapper class. So how to make my code as proper generic code? I'll be introducing. This is the way hereafter, whatever the collection you are introducing, you should introduce with generics with appropriate data type. So I am indicating my compiler that my list one will be handling only string. If you try to include 1000 and 1005, whether it will allow?
No, ma'am.
No, it will not allow. At the time of compilation, if you see, it is throwing an error, incompatible type. I cannot put integer in the place of string. So I'm removing 1000 and 1005. So now compile your program. Earlier, when I compile the program, it is with warning note, unsafe operation. Now the program is with safe operation. There is no compile time error. So if I execute the program, output is not a very big deal. The idea behind the program is handling a collection with type safety code, data type safety. So this is most expected. Yeah.
Ma'am, but you said that it has no primitive data type. So, ma'am,
Yeah. It will
I'm
not
not
handle
clear on
primitive
this
data
point.
type. Yeah, I'll put. So you look into the last line. I cannot put this. So primitive type cannot be replaced for array list. So you cannot come to a conclusion that my collection will not handle numbers, characters. No, not like that. So with those data types only, like numbers, floating point value, character, string, I want to handle a collection. But whenever if you are defining, it will not handle a regular primitive type. You need to declare and initialize as a wrapper class.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, listen. Is it possible?
Yes, ma'am.
So assume like I have a student class with roll number, marks, and a name. Guys, tell me the last line is possible or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
100% possible. I would like
Yes,
to
ma'am,
say
possible.
my list one, list two, list three, list four are handling homogeneous type, whereas the list five is handling mixed type. So my list four is handling collection of user defined type student holding roll number, mark, and name, which is possible. I cannot give primitive type. I can give either wrapper class or user defined class. This is very, very important. As I said, if time permits, we will have this user defined type today, or I don't want to overload everything on today. Let's have it this on tomorrow.
Ma'am, we are using wrapper class for the indication. So, can we use the wrapper class methods also?
What methods are there? For conversion, you can use.
Okay, ma'am.
But it's not possible. If I define array list as string, is it possible to convert an integer and I can replace here?
No, ma'am.
It's meaningless.
Like we have some methods for string class, no? Like just to for trimming and all these things.
I won't think it suits here.
Okay, ma'am. Understood.
If you want to go for a proper class, wait, I'll show you. So I'll delete everything. So let me make integer. So let's think what will happen if I use int. I'm creating an array list with integer. Can you read this?
Yeah,
What is
required the
required?
reference
Reference type. The found is
int type.
integer. So we cannot use regular type. So integer is acceptable. Okay, my list, let's assume my list 5. So my list 5 dot add of new integer of 101. Or let me put 102. All right, my list 5. Next, go to second. What is the difference between line number 9 and line number 10? Even I don't know how many of you noticed with this deprecated. Can you read the first line?
Unnecessary boxing.
It's not at all required. If I try to add 102, my machine will consider this as an integer.
Yeah, because we have defined it as a
Correct,
We have already
correct.
defined integer.
Correct. Why I want to go for another boxing, converting the same type to again, converting reference type to reference type. It's not necessary.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's auto boxing, right?
It's not auto boxing. It's a kind of a boxing only because I'm using the conversion function.
So it's not required.
Not required. Add traverse, you can do it in both the way, backward and forward. Again, I'm telling this is a simple hello world kind of a program. In real world, we will be using with user defined type. So let's have an introduction and basic functionality today so that you will be familiar and settle down with all the defined data type. User defined type, we will have it on later. Go with the sample program today. One thing I want to say, can I have 102 again? Can I have 102 thrice?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes,
think.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Allows duplication.
Yeah,
Duplicates
it
are
allows
allowed.
duplicates and it is ordered. Okay. So more on user defined type, let's explore. Also file handling part also, let's explore. Array list is one class under list interface. One more class under list interface is linked list. Linked list also provides the implementation of list interface. It enables to create doubly linked list. It allows you to traverse in forward direction and backward direction. Whatever the rule of linked list, doubly linked list is applicable over here, but in Java class. So you can create a regular way of linked list or by using generics. These are the methods available: add, clear, get, remove. Remove, you can specify index or the value because all the classes of list is an index methodology. Second, Rusikesh, just now I saw your question. This angular bracket is called as generics. Generics is the topic which we will use along with collection interface. We will not use generics anywhere in our Java. Wherever we are handling a collection of objects, when you are having many records, objects, at that time, in order to handle a proper data type code, safety code, we will introduce generics. And this is a syntax of generics. So till Java 7 version, we will be using the data type with angular bracket, both left hand side and right hand side. In later versions, we can skip the right hand side. You can leave this as an empty block. So Sikesh, is that clear? What is the purpose of generics? Generics will provide you a proper type safety code. Generics will move many runtime errors to compile time. It is welcomed always. Compile time errors are most welcome than runtime errors. So many runtime errors will be moved to compile time only with the help of generics. Unnecessary conversion is not required. And generics will use only wrapper class, not use primitive type. So, and indirectly we can come to a conclusion, collection will use only wrapper class, not use primitive type. Values will be there, and also user defined type will be there. So I will not try a program for linked list. I want you to create an object for linked list, handle all these operations. Not now, once after completing the theory. So more or less everything will go in the same pace. Vector is also similar to array list and linked list. Only the difference is vector methods are synchronous. What do you mean by the word thread safe or synchronous? We haven't introduced you with threads, but we came across the word. The word is synchronous and thread safe. All right, I'm sure many of you, the word is new. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. So let's assume there is a salary table. Or let's assume there is an employee records table. So there were so many details of employee, plus there is a detailed salary. So there were two persons. One is accountant person. The other one is HR person. Guys, listen carefully. Let's assume we are going to deal with the data, salary data, salary variable, or you can take a collection, anything. I am dealing with one single variable or object. I'm leaving to you. So HR is giving a commitment that, so this month salary will be added with some 1,000 rupees as some allowances for work from home, some electricity expense. So HR is giving a commitment that all of you will get 1,000 rupees additional in your salary for this month. So what HR needs to do? HR needs to retrieve the salary, and he want to add salary is equal to salary plus 1,000. Is that clear so far? Are you with me, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So when HR is trying to access this variable or a collection, you can take collection object or a single variable, and he is trying to update the salary. Meanwhile, the accountant person is fetching salary variable or salary collection. and he is processing the salary. Assume like this is 30th of this month. Whether the transaction is proper transaction. One variable, salary variable, is accessed by HR as well as accountant at the same instance. 10, 55, 33 seconds. Is it valid?
No, ma'am.
The ultimate idea is one variable or an object needs to be accessed by one person at a time. When a HR is trying to access the salary variable and he is doing some updation, when accountant is trying to access the salary variable, will he able to get? He should not get. So we should enable some functionality like some locking functionality, or he should get some message as waiting message. So the ultimate idea is two transaction cannot use a single variable at a time, or two process cannot use one single variable at a time. So we can say in such the way like one after another. So when HR is trying to access, the other one should not able to get the variable. So this type of data accessing by one after another. So one is accessing, other should not able to get the record. Such type of accessing is called as which type of communication, or in terms of data handling, it is synchronous data handling, which is called as thread safe. So when I am handling a variable via vector, let's say my list one. So my main method is accessing my list one. When the student is trying to access my list one, array list and linked list will provide the data. Which one will not provide the data? Vector class are synchronous. Only one can able to access at a time. So when there is a situation where multiple persons are trying to use the same record in your project, don't go for array list, go for vector. Is that clear? The variable or object has to be handled by one class at a time, one person at a time, which is called as synchronous handling. The same thing is applicable for all the places. Is that clear? The same is applicable
Yes,
for
ma'am.
everywhere. Let's assume today I'm going to share this notes. So I'm trying to update some information on this notes. Before I update, if you try to access this notes, you will be retrieving unupdated partial notes. So when I am trying to edit, you should not able to get this. Once if I done with my process, then you need to get this type of functionality is called a synchronous. When I am talking, you people are listening, then you are giving acknowledgement. It is synchronous. When 5 of you are talking together, that is asynchronous. In a computer, most scenario will be synchronous communication. Don't forget this. We may get this question in an interview. Which of the class is thread safe in Java collection, which is vector? So we can have vector creation by normal way, by generic. Also, we can provide the size, initial capacity of vector, and all the three falls under list. So array list, linked list, and vector all falls under list interface. So the methods are common. All the methods are from list interface, like add method, clear method, get, remove, remove based on index, remove based on object. And you can retrieve the total number of elements by using size. Which one of the following statement holds true about collection classes? Take first statement. True or false. Array list implements set collection.
True.
Take time, analyze and tell me.
So,
What's wrong with you in answering first question after these many diagrams, after these many hierarchical part? What is the topic we were discussing today?
array list.
Only this portion. Array list, linked list, vector, all belongs to which interface?
List.
List interface. I haven't started with set. I haven't started with DQ. I haven't started with map. I gave an introduction, but the programming wise, we were discussing only on these list child class. Don't forget, what are you doing, guys? That is why I have been introducing you with this collection hierarchy. We just done with list. Still queue, set, map is pending. If you notice the previous diagram, you could have answered for the next one. Array is an implementation of set, true or false?
False. Only 4 is true, man.
It's collection.
List is a collection of stack and queue. No, stack and
No,
queue is a
ma'am.
separate interface. Collection belongs to which package?
Wrong. No, ma'am.
Collection belongs to which package?
Util package.
Util package. So the correct option is array list is a dynamically growable array. All right. So what we can do is, I'm giving you a break of 10 minutes. Listen carefully. So post break, I want you to practice with sample program on this array list, linked list, and vector with all these methods. Go for both forward and backward traversal. So once after completing it, we will continue with generics. You remember? So I said I will complete fundamentals of collection with list, and then we will discuss on generics. So 10 minutes break, come back at 11:10. So continue for next half an hour. Around 11:45, I'll continue with generic class and generic method. Will it be okay, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
break off.
Please confirm that you are back by raising your hand, all of you. Those who have joined back, practice some program on list, linked list and vector. Add some element of this collections object and traverse the element and display and do the reverse traversal and all. Practice this code. Others, please join the session quickly.